So hello learners, welcome to the IIT Madras Student Community channel. Today we will be solving the IITM graded assignments. But before that, subscribe us and join our channel to get full access and all our latest updates. So now let's begin.
Greetings students, in today's session we will be solving the graded assignment of week 2 of computational thinking subject. Now let's get into the topic without making it any late further. Here comes the first question. The following procedure is executed using scores dataset. Yes, at the end of execution, DIFF, which stands for difference, it stores the difference between highest and lowest total marks. In this question, they said that the programmer may have made mistakes, so there is a great possibility that there won't be any mistakes as well. But without thinking in that way, let's dive into the pseudocode. Step 1, it is fine. Step 2, initialize max to 0, minimum to 300, difference to 0. This is also fine. Step number 8, good. Step number 4 is also fine. If total is less than max, here it is this line number 5, it is a mistake because total can never be less than 0, right? Here there are 3 subjects having 100 marks each. 100, 100, 100. It is the total as 300, and the minimum score at least for a student who is present will be 1 mark, and that one is never less than 0. Therefore step number 5 is incorrect. If the total is less than minimum, yes, this is fine. As 1 is less than 300, we will be updating minimum with 1. Yes, this is good. This is fine. Move the current card to another pile called pile 2 and repeat from step 3. Fine. Update the value of difference to maximum minus minimum. This is also good. So the only mistake that we found here in the first question is with respect to the 5th line, that is or the 5th step. So the corresponding option would be step 5, incorrect conditional statement to update max. Yes, and now coming to the question number 2. This is match the following method. It's a match the following type. It's very easy, relatively easy. 4 is equal to 4. We are checking if they're equal or not. Yes, this is a true. And 2 is also less than 6. This is also a true. And the most important thing that we need to take care of each and every time is OR and AND operators. For an OR operator, the final result will be a true if either of them is a true. But for an AND operator, it is just opposite. It will only be a true if both are true. Therefore, the suitable option to A would be 2. That is, A will be true here. B will be a false because 2 is equal to 2 and 2 is never greater than 5. It is less than 5. Therefore, B is false. I'll write it out so professionally. Yes. Yeah, this looks good. Here we are using the assignment operator, as we cannot assign 8 to be equal to 3. Therefore, this is an invalid expression. This would be a false if this was like this. Then the result would be false, but it's not the case here. Therefore, this is an invalid expression. Right? 45 plus 2. You see that this is a string here and this is an integer. We cannot add an integer with a string. Therefore, this is also an invalid expression. 2 less than 3, yes, it is a true. Therefore, E is true. Let us find out the suitable option now. A goes for 2 and E goes for 2. B goes for 3. Yes. C goes for 1, yes, and D goes for 4, no. Hence this is not a suitable option. A goes to 2, B goes to 3, yes, C goes to 1, yes, D goes to 5, no. Hence this is also not a suitable option. We can compare right away from here, or you can note down the options A, B, C, D, E. A is 2, B is 1, B is 3, C is 1, D is 1, E is 2, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. Yes, this is the sequence 2, 3, 1, 1, 2. Hence C is the right option. And now coming to question number 3. The following procedure is executed using words dataset. What will A represent at the end of execution? That's good. Step number 1, this is a basic step. And I'll be noting down the important points if found any. In the step number 2, we are maintaining two variables A and B and are initializing them to zeros, and this has been written. Step 3, if pile 1 is empty, then we will be stopping the iteration. Good. Step 4, good. Step 5, increment the variable B without meeting any condition. We are directly incrementing B. That means if we are reading a card, then we are incrementing the value of B. That means B stores the number of cards that are read, right? If word does not end with a full stop, then execute step number 9. That means the only words that are at the end of a sentence will have to go through these two steps. Else, if there are at any other place other than the end of a sentence, we'll directly move on to step number 9. Yeah, that's good. Increment variable B. Okay. If word does not end with a full stop, yes, it does not end. Let us imagine that it doesn't end. In that case, we'll be moving the card to pile 2 and we'll be repeating from step 3, which is again rechecking the complete pile. Good. In such way, what can we understand the answer to be? Let us consider an example here. Let us consider that a sentence has 4 words, A, B, C and D. We are reading the top card. Here B will be 1, here B will be 2, here B will be 3, according to the algorithm, right? We are reading the top card, which is A. We are incrementing B. Here B is equal to B plus 1, which is 1. Here it is not at the end of a sentence. Therefore, we are moving on to step number 9. In step number 9, it asks us to repeat from step number 3. According to step number 5, again we need to increment, which is 2 is nothing but 1 plus 1, and this is according to step number 5, right? In a similar way, B is equal to 2 plus 1 according to step number 5. Here B will be is equal to 4, but what we will do is that we will definitely check the step number 7. If word ends with a full stop and B greater than A, definitely 4 is greater than A and A is 0 here, right? Till now we did not increment A or we did not update A up to step number 7. In step number 7, we are updating A with the value of B. We are storing B inside A. Till now A is 0 and from now A will be 4. Right. After reinitializing the variable, updating the variable A, we will reinitialize the value of B to 0 because we are done with one sentence that is present in a paragraph. So the value of B keeps on changing for each and every sentence that is distinct from one another. So for the first sentence from our example, the value of A is 4. Let us imagine that the second sentence has 3 words, and let the 3 words be x, y and z. So here and repeat from step 3. Yes, increment variable b. Here b is 1, here b is 2, and for z b is 3. If you observe here, we are reinitializing b to 0, therefore b is 1 2 3 again, and we are not resetting the value of a here. A always remains to be 4 for the second sentence as well. And now comes the real thing, that is b greater than a. Checking for b greater than a. Is 3 greater than 4? Never. Hence we do not store b in a. That means, what is this answer will absolutely be? The value of a will be showing us the length of longest sentence based on number of words. It is definitely option B. And one thing I can help you out is that if you observe this question, all this question was depending upon the term called word. But in the options, if you see, there was something included with number of letters. So immediately you can eliminate these two options from your submission list. In case if you do not have time, you'll be having a great priority or a great possibility to submit an answer by chance as well. There is a 50-50, right? In that way you can save your possibility of scoring as well. And now coming to the fourth question. This procedure is executed using words dataset. They are asking us what will A and B represent at the end of execution. So now let's find out what the case is. Arrange all cards in a single pile called pile 1. A and B are set to 1 lakh. If pile 1 is empty, then stop the iteration. If mathematics marks is less than A, then store A in B and mathematics marks in A. If mathematics marks greater than A and mathematics marks less than B. Okay. So to solve this problem, we'll have to take another example as well. Let us take 3 students, X, Y and Z. Not X, Y and Z always. Let's take some real time name, that is SAI, Sai. This is a common name, right? This name, I think almost everyone in our country has this name as their nickname or in their main name, something like that. So now coming to this 3 students, S, A and I. Let us consider that their scores are 80, 87 and 94. Initially A and B are being set to 1 lakh. Now coming to the first card, which is 80 belonging to S. Mathematics mark is less than A. Definitely 80 is less than 1 lakh, which I have written inverse here. 1 lakh is greater than 80. Therefore what will we do here? We'll be storing A in B. That means we are interchanging the values. Now B will become what does this mean? Store A in B. What does this really mean? A, which is 1 lakh, will be stored in B, and the mathematics marks of the student S will be stored in A. A will be 80, right? And now if you observe, this is a main point to be to be noted here. If step number 5 gets satisfied, step number 6 does not get satisfied. If step number 6 gets satisfied, step number 5 does not get satisfied. Right, so this is what one of the important points of this question is. And now coming to student number 2, who is A, 87. If we find 87 is not less than 80, 87 is greater than 80. 80 is less than 87. But according to line number 5, if mathematics marks is less than A is 80 here, right? But the mathematics marks of student A is 87. 87 is not less than 80. For in that case, what we need to do is that step number 6, we need to move on to step number 6. If mathematics marks is greater than A, that is 87 is greater than 80, yes, this is a true, this is satisfied, and mathematics marks is less than B, and 87 is less than 1 lakh, this is also satisfied. Then we'll be storing the mathematics marks in B. A will be 80 only, and from this second card B will be 87. And now coming to the last card belonging to the student I, his mathematics marks are 94. And 94 is less than, is 94 less than A? Is 94 less than 80? No. Then we can directly move on to step number 6. If 94 is greater than 80, yes, it is greater than 80, and mathematics marks is less than B. 94 is not less than 97. I mean not less than 87. But we are done with the data set having 3 students, which are S, A and I. Therefore what are A and B representing here? Here A is representing the least mark and B is representing the second least mark. So let's find a suitable option which is in match with this thing. A is highest mark in mathematics, no. A is lowest mark and B is highest mark, no. B should be the second lowest mark, right? So the suitable option is that the suitable option is D. A is the lowest mark in mathematics and B is the second lowest mark in mathematics. Good. And now coming to the next question. The given procedure is executed using scores dataset. Kajal and Rashmita, K and R, both have scored the least mark in physics, and that means both have 37 as their physics marks, in such a way that Kajal's card is below Rashmita's card. Kajal card is below Rashmita's card. What are we being asked here now? What will the values of A and B at the end of execution? So let us go through them. A maintain A and B and initialize A to 101. A is 101 and B is none. Right? If pile 1 is empty, stop the iteration, read the top card. If physics mark is less than or is equal to A, physics mark is less than or is equal to A, that means let us imagine that there are 3 students with the names P, R, K. P being Prashant, R being Rashmita and K being Kajal. Prashant, Rashmita and Kajal. Oh, there is a great thing here. PRAS, RAS. The only P is different here. So let's leave that beside. And now coming to the problem. The physics mark is less than or is equal to A. A is 101. And let's imagine that Prashant scored 92. And we know that both of these scored 37. And 92 is less than 101. Not 101 actually. Yeah, 101. Then what are we storing? In physics marks. In A. That means A gets updated to 101 and B gets updated with Prashant. Now we are done. We are moving Prashant to pile 2. Now coming to Rashmita. Rashmita is having less than 92. Therefore A will be 37 and B will be Rashmita.